Oh my God, I'm like magic. How did I make that happen? It is amazing when you think about it. Hi, I'm Selma Blair and I'm here with Self. I'm giving advice to my younger self. This is a box with memories. It is like in my book where my mother would always say, "Oh, Selma, put it in the box." Whenever I'd have a memory or say something funny or, just something in my day, put it in the box. This was at the Cruel Intentions premiere in New York City, and I think I'm wearing Colette Dinnigan. I remember my mom had said she had seen the film Cruel Intentions, and she was like, "Honestly, Selma, did you have to give so much tongue?" And I was a little concerned, like that I was a little slug-like in Sarah's mouth. I didn't know that kiss would be so iconic. But no, I look like quite a lady here. With this, my advice to my younger self would be, don't worry so much about what other people think. But she gave me the good line because that kiss gets a lot of praise. So it's okay to throw a little mother backlash in it. Keeps me grounded. This is Reese Witherspoon and the dog on the set of Legally Blonde. Classic. Movie star. What more can you say? I'll tell you what you could say about Reese Witherspoon. She is gorgeous, capable, funny, has known what she is capable of since the beginning, and I mean that with the biggest praise and admiration. Like, it felt like she knew some of her worth, and that's saying, like, some of her worth is more worth than so many people are aware of they have. She is such a powerhouse. Here I am with my Argyle and pearls. And of course, a collared shirt. I mean, this is so Vivian Kensington, and I loved playing her frenemy. Reese Witherspoon is so iconic. She really made this role. But when I realized how many things we can do, I mean, come on, like Reese Witherspoon and Sarah. With this, my advice to my younger self would be, we can do so many things. This was the Hellboy premiere. Going to do this movie and coming out, I was such a different person. Going in, I remember I did see Tanda, a reader, a fortune teller, an astrologist, and she said my life would change. I went searching for an answer, what was gonna happen on this adventure. Just that this movie was such a turning point, and it was. It changed my life being a part of this story, and I think I also got really sick on this movie. This is when the MS was really taking a hold in my life. I put so much in that, looking for the signs. My advice to my younger self would be, I would see. I wanted to tell my own story. I didn't know that I was. It would just take time before I would put it into words. My son in his dad's arms. This is just a reminder, there's so much love in our family, even though my son's father and I aren't married or live together. But from the start, it was really important for us to not put our issues with our son as much as we could, so we'd show up as a family, and now we genuinely are really close. It's a perfect family to us. All my advice, I had so many worries that I won't be enough, that I won't know how to be a mom, that I can't have a relationship. We're good parents to Arthur. Well, we love him, and now we really love each other. Now we've gotten to know each other. So I tell myself, don't worry, you'll have a family. Who knew? This picture, I was walking in Christian Siriano's runway show in New York. I had always wanted to be a model. And this was my first show, my only show. I thought I had died and gone to heaven. The day of this show was the first time that symptoms from my childhood with my leg going out happened during this show. And I realized adrenaline brings on my symptoms now of my leg turning numb and not really being able to feel where it's hitting or how high. And I couldn't feel my left leg. And it was like going up and down, and I'm just trying to look like cool and kind of expressionless, and in my mind I'm going, ah. So I don't even know what I'd tell this younger self except for, oh, it's not in your head, you have MS, you should go to a doctor right away. This photograph reminds me how lucky I am. Remember, this is the post I made when I announced I had MS. I remember on this set, I was on this Netflix show that I did while I was diagnosed, and I had gotten so weak and unable to put my clothes on, and the costume designers and the wardrobe like the onset, everyone really helped me so much. I'm so lucky. When I told the producers, they said, it's okay, everyone has something. And it was such a fear. I didn't want to tell people. I felt bad I was holding things up, but everyone helped to dress me and made provisions for me, my shoes. And so this was actually a thank you for everyone on set. And then I just also mentioned that I had MS and I was disabled. I was so lucky to innately have kind of a self-awareness and a confidence that a vulnerability would kind of be, a strength for me. And it would help other people. So I think I would tell my younger self, way younger, like when I first started dragging my leg when I was little or thinking that it was just pinched nerves, or I would tell myself, it's okay, it's real. You'll find out and it will be okay. And you will be able to help people. You'll be able to open conversations and comfort people. And I would say I'm proud of you. I'm proud that was a quality I had, that I felt comfortable enough to talk about whatever ails me or whatever gives me joy. I think I knew from the first moment I met Sarah Michelle Gellar that we would be friends forever. And she has made sure that's happened. If you have Sarah Michelle Gellar as your best friend, you really don't need many other friends. She has shown up and been there and helped me and organized from the beginning. And one of the greatest people to organize, like with community, like food trains for me and things that now I realize going into other people's lives when they're in the midst of a crisis. She's really given me some tools to know how to help people. Sarah Michelle Gellar is truly a slayer. She's amazing. As a young kid, I could never, I watched Sarah Michelle Gellar on All My Children, but I think I had told someone even before I was an actress, it was like wishful thinking, like I'm gonna go to New York and I'm gonna try and get on All My Children and be friends with Kendall, Susan Lucci's daughter, and the bad seed. And she's such a good seed. I had no idea that my first big movie would be kissing Sarah Michelle Gellar. Every scene would be with her. It's amazing. It's amazing. Thank you, universe. I love her more than ever. I'm the luckiest girl. Who would have thunk? I would tell my younger self, like, seriously, what was I worried about? Oh my God, I'm like magic. How did I make that happen? It is amazing when you think about it. My son. My mom had told me, you're not meant to be a mother, you're not meant to be a wife. That felt like a real shortcoming for me, that I never had that instinct, and I knew what a responsibility it was. But here I am, as a mother to my gorgeous rock star son who loves me. It's amazing. It's a miracle. So again, I think I'd have to say to myself, don't worry, it's gonna work out as it should. And I'm a mother here celebrating MS and finding cures. This was Vanity Fair Oscar party. I went after the MS diagnosis and I'm wearing this Ralph and Russo dress and the cane, and I was in a flare of MS, so it was really hard to get out. It was very weak. My balance was very off, and I had to stop and compose myself. And Troy was on the red carpet, and all the photographers stopped to kind of let my ugly cry out, and they gave me that space. I think there were times in my career where I would view the paparazzi as a little bit of, beware. Things could be taken out of context and it would be frightening. So I always felt careful, but this was a real gift of a moment. I really felt like, oh, I have been in this town a while and they're giving me this moment to let my emotions out and regain my composure. And then I flipped the dress and then there was this moment. So I think I would tell my younger self, never think anything but the best of people. Alexander McQueen. Psychedelic mushroom dress that I love. It had a sense of humor. This night, I was presenting at this Emmys 2022, and I was the last to present, and I walked out onto that stage. Like, what a surprise, what a gift. I had people stand up for me. It's something I had never been on those stages in my career so far, and this was even better than I could have imagined. To have been, celebrated, either my life or what I'd brought in the last few years for awareness and positivity and wanting to live the moment. It was just perfect. I would just tell my younger self, there will be things that will surprise you. There will be things that hearten you. And while I never once dreamed of ever accepting an award on any stage, truly, I didn't dare go there, I would tell myself, God, just enjoy every moment you're on a stage. And if anyone ever stands for you, take it in. Those are the moments we need to get us through the hard times. May we all have people stand for us once in our life. What an honor to be on that Emmy stage, and the people that I admire the most, like giving me a shout out, bliss. I'm dancing with Sasha. I'm Dancing with the Stars, which I loved. And it was a Bond song, which always reminds me of my mother. I never thought that I would be on a stage dancing live, Dancing with the Stars, anything. Dancing, this was my nightmare. My nightmare, singing or dancing on a stage and feeling unprepared and like, how do I give the people what they paid for? That's like a recurring dream. I was blindfolded to help with my proprioception issues and my overstimulus of seeing cameras, because there were dollies and things on the ground recording on the dance floor, and I would kind of like get really small trying to avoid cameras, not realizing distance. It was so amazing of Sasha to realize, like, to ask what I needed for. He could see what was happening when we'd rehearse with the lights and people and clapping and pulling focus. With this, my advice to my younger self would be, don't worry about those nightmares where you're on stage dancing and you don't know the steps and you can't move, because you will. You will dance in front of people live, and you will primarily remember your steps. It was an amazing experience. I always forget. People say, what's your way to unwind? How do you relax? And sure, candle, meditation, massage, but my horse Nibbles, who I don't have enough time to see, because it's like I could be out there for 10 hours a day. This is the most delicious, loving horse, and I hang on him, and he is, without a doubt, the most handsome horse I've ever seen. He's real fancy, and I'm hoping to get really good at riding. I'm not giving up that dream. So I would tell myself, I was the girl that wanted horseback riding lessons. My mom wouldn't let me because I didn't show any skill, and I'm still at it. So I would tell myself, don't worry, this is something you can do into old age. So hopefully I have years left with Nibbles. I want to be in the Olympics.
We heard it here.
Oh my gosh, my book, To Dream the Impossible Dream. This is so appropriate that at the bottom of the box is the beginning of the story. I remembered always what my mom said about put it in the box. And I went through and I found so many of my journals in the boxes. And they went into Mean Baby, which is a memoir of growing up. And it's such a personal love letter to my mom, who is wonderful but critical, and to my son, and a few people that touched my life so much. This is a photograph by Peggy Sirota. I love that day of shooting, and it was the day of the Legally Blonde premiere. It kind of blows my mind. It does. It blows my mind. When I realize how many things we can do, I wrote a book. I always wanted to write a book, and my mom said, oh, you better write it before I die because you need a good editor. Well, guess what? I found a good editor. Thank you, Jenny Jackson at Knopf. Sorry, Mom, you died. I did it anyhow. But no, this was the dream. This was the dream. I love my mom, by the way. I can't believe I have such a gorgeous book out there. Now I'm a writer. I'm gonna write more. Well, as my mom would say, put it in the box. Thank you so much for sharing these memories with me, listening to these memories. Why don't you go read about these memories? Okay, thank you. This was wonderful. Thank you so much, Self Magazine.